This is the 7th most devastating move in jiu-jitsu.
The straight arm lock. Yeah, so as Matt extends the elbow for the straight arm lock, similar to what we discussed with the wrist lock, we're putting tension on one side of the joint and we're putting compression on the other side of the joint. So the tissue in the front will be injured and by tension or basically tearing, and the tissue on the back can be injured by compression, including things like fracture or dislocation. But typically that energy is dissipated and occurs through the medial side of the elbow first. So the inside side, that MCL or the Tommy John ligament, ulnar collateral ligament can get injured. And then basically that force goes across the elbow from medial to lateral, so from the inside to the outside side. Most common injuries are going to be soft tissue injuries, which most of the time will heal in an athlete participating in this sport with conservative management, just time. It's probably if it's a significant injury, probably 3 months before you really feel pretty good. If you sustain a bigger injury, such as a fracture, which would be uncommon, and that most likely would need to be fixed surgically, again, 3 months with risks of kind of residual stiffness, other problems with the elbow over time. And then the other risk would be a dislocation, which would be really uncommon from this mechanism. But if it happened, it's a probably 12-week recovery as well.
Doc, from this position, what would happen if I just flex?
That, if you put significant force and you have enough strength and he's keeping you from doing it, you can injure things. You can rupture your distal biceps tendon.
Just from...
Yeah, so that's how...
Oh yeah, I hear
that's how people rupture by the distal biceps. I mean, the biceps tears off the radius deep in here. Yeah, it tears off down here and then the muscle kind of shoots up the arm. And that happens typically from something you're trying to pull against something that's stronger than you are, particularly when it's in a sudden fashion.
I don't know if you ever saw this fight, but UFC 48, Tim Sylvia got his arm broken from a straight arm lock from the guard against Frank Mir.
Uh-huh.
And so what happened, go into it. It wasn't from this position, but it was the same thing. The elbow, he slipped the elbow line. So Mir had a real...
yes.
He flipped the elbow
Yes.
line, and then the palm was up.
Yes.
And then he broke it with a straight, like he broke across.
Broke his forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It broke like...
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I saw an MMA fighter that did that as well, that broke their forearm. It's the same thing like we were talking about with the ankle. You're basically providing a 3-point bend around a bone, around a tubular structure. Yeah, like breaking a stick.
The cup helps tremendously.
Yeah, I would imagine that it would be helpful because you want those loads to be around a narrow point. So basically you want the loads around a narrow point, and you want, just like if you're breaking a baseball bat, or a stick, if you're way out here, a lot stronger than trying to break it right here. So you want to be far away on the edges and a small point in the middle. Almost always when it's a both bone forearm fracture, both of those bones are broken, in an adult, we fix it surgically. Typically takes, 6 to 8 weeks for the bones to heal, and then probably, 3 months before the soft tissue kind of gets limber enough to do more stuff.
That was the 7th most devastating move in jiu-jitsu, the arm lock. What do you think number 6 will be?